The Amazing Spider-Man issue 28 sees Spider-Man discover Randy is dating Beetle, fresh from her new gang, the Syndicate, kidnapping Boomerang. As Randy tells her he's upset she couldn't make her date, Janice explains how her life as a lawyer allows her to be a criminal without any repercussions, like today when she blew up Randy's work and kidnapped her roommate. Randy demands to know what she did, calling her a psychopath, but Janice says that he always complained about his roommate. Randy, however, meant Peter, which surprises Peter, who is listening in, and he says that she could have killed someone like May, but Janice doesn't seem to care, saying it's just business. Randy isn't having any of it, saying she doesn't care that Feast may never open now because of what she did, and she doesn't care about him. Janice dons her mask, telling Randy to watch himself since she could easily disintegrate him, but she isn't going to because she is nice. Heading out, she contacts Fisk as Spider-Man watches on, heading into the room to find the transceiver. Beetle returns to the Syndicate, finding that they have made a list of suggestions on what to do with Fred. Janice says that she will look over them, but the girls want to kill Fred now. Suddenly they begin to hear someone calling to them and learn it's Fisk, who has brought his task force to their base and demands they surrender Boomerang over to him. Spider-Man soon arrives and confronts Wilson, telling him Boomerang is his colleague and he knows Fisk won't turn his men on him since they are best friends, at least in the eyes of the media. Wilson proves Spider-Man wrong, telling his men that Spider-Man is suffering from one of Fred's hypno-rangs and isn't his self. The Syndicate watch, saying Beetle called this would happen, and Electro thinks that maybe Spider-Man is down there giving them time to execute Fred, but Beetle thinks that when Fisk captures Spider-Man, they can use Fred to trade for him, allowing them to actually kill Spider-Man instead. The team question her since she said Spider-Man wasn't their target and Fred was, as Fred interjects, telling them that Beetle has sold them all out. Spider-Man meanwhile fights Wilson's SWAT team, trying to pull his punches since they are still good cops just doing their job, which of course means they aren't pulling their punches. The Syndicate meanwhile questions Beetle on what Fred means by her setting them up, and Fred says that Fisk has a price on his head and Janice wants them to do all her dirty work so they can capture him because she could never do it all herself. She would then rat them out and give them all to Fisk. Fred knows all of this because this is one of his classic plays, and he did this exact same thing. Beetle tells Fred to shut up as there is a huge explosion. In the rubble, Fred tells Janice he's really proud of her, but Beetle grabs him, planning on killing him then and there. Fred says that she might reconsider this after she looks at the note he's got in his hands. Beetle grabs it, and upon seeing it, she tells the Syndicate that they can't turn him over, and they can't kill him either. The Syndicate are so confused since none of this makes any sense, so Beetle comes clean, saying she was going to stab them in the back and sell them to Fisk, but she had a plan in place that would have seen them deputized by Fisk and become his personal security force. The team thinks that's a stupid idea since they are costumed criminals, and taking the criminal part out of it means that they are people who just dress up ridiculously. Beetle says that this is a great thing and she's built something great for them here at Syndicate, despite Rabbit actually being the one who funded the entire center. The rest of the team feel all the same way, that this is wrong, and they know Beetle doesn't want to break the law anymore thanks to her new boyfriend. Beetle says that she thinks from working with idiots like Fred, she's gotten used to doing things a certain way. She tells them that she doesn't want to let them down again, and to prove it, she gets Fred to show them what he showed her. Spider-Man meanwhile is finally subdued by the cops as the Syndicate arrives, helping free him. Beetle gives the tied up Fred to Spider-Man, telling him to get Fred out of there. Spider-Man wants Janice to promise that they will go easy on the SWAT team, otherwise he will tell Randy what she has done. Beetle gives in, telling the team to only incapacitate the guards. The Syndicate take down the SWAT team, but soon they are overwhelmed and arrested by Fisk as Spider-Man makes his escape with Fred. Spider-Man isn't happy with Fred, telling him their team up only happened because of an old grudge against him, and it almost got May Parker killed. Fred defends himself, saying that it wasn't all his fault, but Spider-Man wants some answers as to why Kingpin wants him so desperately, so Fred tells him to have a seat, since he isn't going to like any of this. As the Syndicate are transported to prison, their transport is attacked by Beetle and the women are freed. At the Feast Center, Randy is confronted by a large group of men who are there to help. Randy doesn't know what's happening as May arrives, saying that the men work for someone named Mr. Stone and won't leave until Feast is completely rebuilt, but she says that's not even the best news, as a lawyer named Janice Lincoln has threatened to sue the city on their behalf. May wonders if Randy can go with her to meet with Janice for brunch, and the bewildered Randy says that he just might be able to do that. The Amazing Spider-Man issue 28 was a fantastic ending to this Boomerang Syndicate story for now. I really enjoyed this little arc, and Nick Spencer made it really enjoyable with equal parts humor, action, and a little drama. I love the reveal of Randy and Beetle and how Beetle is a little power crazy to begin with and is just using the Syndicate to kind of get ahead of herself. But I do like by the end she looks to make amends for what she has done and take up more time as a lawyer a little more and kind of be a bit more of a hero. I'm excited to see what Spencer does with these characters when we see them next, as well as the next arc before we itch closer to absolute carnage. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. Issue